the Olympia was maybe the calmest competition that I've been in because in my mind, you're already there. You're already the top of the top. You're going against the best female bodybuilders in the world, right?
Yes.
And I had expectations for myself, but I didn't really have any necessarily expectations. My very first one. So I really didn't know what to expect. So I was the calmest that I've ever been at a show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sup Talk Radio. I am honored and humbled to have one of the top female physique bodybuilders, say that 5 times fast, in the world. She is Marika Jones. Marika, welcome so much to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful to be here with you today.
It's an absolute honor. I've been following you for a little bit, and I'm looking forward to learning more about your story tonight.
Awesome. I'm grateful to be able to share my experiences and my stories since I've been doing bodybuilding with you.
Marika, let's start with the most recent. Let's talk through the week of the Olympia and the day of. Like, what's going through your mind? How are you feeling? Kind of break it down a little bit. First one, obviously.
Right. My very first one. And honestly, I can't even put into words how I felt. I did feel like there was a little anxiousness because a lot of competitors got there like a week before or was there that Monday and I was just getting there that Wednesday. So I had a little bit of anxious energy to just get in and get there.
Okay.
But ultimately, the Olympia was maybe the calmest competition that I've been in because in my mind, you're already there. You're already the top of the top. You're going against the best female bodybuilders in the world, right?
Yes.
And I had expectations for myself, but I didn't really have any necessarily expectations. My very first one. So I really didn't know what to expect. So I was the calmest that I've ever been at a show because the
Really?
work was
Okay.
already done. The work was done. There was nothing more that I could have done in
Yep.
that moment. And I knew that I had given my all to this prep and to be ready for this show in the best way that I could. So I was it was indescribable just being there to that magnitude, being on a stage and really thinking to myself, I'm really about to compete in my very first Olympia. Like this is really happening is what kept going through my head. But once I got there and realized this is like any other show, but it's not like any other show.
Sure.
So it was an amazing experience. Very, very much amazing experience.
What were your expectations for placings? Did you have something set in stone for yourself?
I obviously I wanted top 10,
Okay.
but stretch goal, I wanted first call outs.
Okay.
Super close. Hit my original goal and almost made first call out. So I'll take it. I'll take it. Now I'd have a different goal in mind for next year for sure, but that was my goal, just not knowing what to expect and how everything was going to go. And I couldn't ask for a better first Olympia experience.
So with physique, is it similar like for the men's side, 1 through 5, maybe first call out, and then 6 and up?
So they did a top six call out.
Okay.
So the top six went out, and then I was seventh. So I came in the splitting the center of second call outs.
And how do you feel you look compared to some of your other shows?
So my strategy in how I do shows is really I know that we're competing against other people, but it's really to top myself and to get better each show. Like I never want to go backwards on a show. So I knew that I had made progression. Even with my posing, we switched my posing around. So I really feel like I look the best that I've ever looked on stage. Now, my plan is for the next show that I do to look the best I've ever looked on stage. As long as I'm building upon what the criteria is and maintaining, for lack of better words, my physique, my overall stage presence, what I look like as a woman with
Sure.
muscle in me.
Love it. And you won, I'm looking at notes here. You won the St. Louis Pro to qualify you, correct?
Yes,
So
I
did
do.
it hit you that you had qualified for the Olympia? Or was it more just I took first place in the show?
No, it hit me. Like I remember being on stage and I kept thinking, I was like, did I end in the middle? Like, what is happening? Like, is this really happening? And then when it happened, I was just like, I really did it. Like, because my goal was to win the St. Louis Pro. Like
Okay.
out the gate, that was my goal, was like one and done. And then we would go to New York and see if we would go to New York to see how I stacked up against other top competitors because I had
Sure.
never a big show like New York Pro. It was either between Pittsburgh and New York. I was like, let's go to New York. I want to see what that, how that is. If I could have went to Pittsburgh, I would have done it too. But a single parent with no sponsors, not any monetary sponsors. You just got to do what you got to do. And so we picked and chose that. But to go to St. Louis, hit my goal immediately out the gate.
Yep.
It still didn't hit me that I really am going to the O. And I think it did hit me until we started getting the emails and the contracts came.
Okay.
Then I was like, oh, I'm really doing this. This is really happening. My name is really on this list. I'm really signing my very first Olympia contract. So that's when it hit.
I love it. I love it. I want to go back to your competition years ago. So I'm looking at my notes here. You won your pro card at the 2022 Masters National, correct?
Yes.
In bodybuilding, though, correct?
Yes. In female bodybuilding.
And then 3 weeks later, you jumped into the Texas Pro as
I did
figure.
as figure. Yep. Just trying to see kind of where I place, like where I kind of fit in, because in my mind, I didn't feel comfortable enough to go into women's bodybuilder as a pro. Like I just don't
Okay.
feel like I have the size. My back is huge. We all know that. That is the thing of the talk. My back is huge. But as far as symmetry and the overall look, I just don't think that I had it. And I was like, well, I feel smaller than the actual WPD people that you see. But you only see what they're posting on social media. It doesn't mean that that's what they look like in
Sure.
person. So he's like, we'll try figure. And I'm glad I did it to see what it was like. But at the end, it wasn't for me. Like we stuck with WPD, and that's where we are right now.
And I give you credit because most people become pro, but they wait 6 months, a year to jump into the first show, and you just dove right in, whatever, 2 weeks later.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think that I would have done better. It was a crazy thing, and I don't ever make excuses, but it was crazy. My flight, I think there was some like overcast winds or something. So me and my daughter loaded the flight, and we sat on the runway for 5 hours. They wouldn't let us
Wow.
off the flight. So when you fly, all of that tension of your all of the blood is just rushing
Oh,
to
sure.
couldn't move. My phone was dying. Then to get to Texas, and all of the American had canceled all their flights. So the hotels
Oh,
were
jeez.
all, and luckily I had called the hotel and was like, hey, my flights got delayed. I'm still coming, because they would have given my room away. And then I would have been at like, I don't think I got into my room that day. I was supposed to get into my room at like 5 o'clock. I
Okay.
didn't get into my room until like 1:30 in the morning,
Oh,
because the
jeez.
line was outside the door, and I trying to get a room. It was a crazy scene. And as a female, I still get my cycle. So all of that
Mhm.
happened all at one time. I was
Oh,
like, oh,
no.
let's just go have some fun. So here
So
we are.
you've got the stress of the airplane, the stress of the hotel, and obviously the hormonal stress all at once.
Yes, all at once. Everything happened. And I was just like, well, we're just going to have fun. And so, um, but going back, I was like, yeah, let's do women's physique. Let's make it happen, and let's grow in the spots that I need to grow in, and make sure that I come back stronger.
Now, did that mean obviously coming down in size? Did you have to lose weight?
Um, I did. I think my lowest weight, I was in the 140s, and that's really hard for me. I have a lot of
Okay.
dense muscle. So even let me see, at New York Pro, let's say I was like 157.
And how tall are you, Marika?
Only 5'5".
Wow, that's some good size.
Yeah, so I naturally it's hard work. I think recently at the Olympia I was 152, so I was
Okay.
able to be down to 152. But anytime I put size on, it's super dense muscle, so it's harder for, like, I don't look at the scale per se as much as I look at my conditioning. I
Got
don't
it.
stress out with it.
And then the following year, 2023, you do 5 or 6 shows? Did I read that right somewhere?
I did about 5 shows, I think. 5. So I did St. Louis, Shreveport, Atlanta, Chicago, and Tampa. And I was supposed to do Daytona, but I went on vacation and I was like, I'm too far gone. I can't do it. I was like, I'm done. Let's stop it, because I don't foresee, even if I would have went to Daytona and won Daytona, I don't foresee I would have been able to bring a good cohesive package to Olympia. Like, your
Yep.
body's done after doing that many type of shows for WPD.
Now, Marika, on the female side, is that common to do that many shows, or are you just a rarity?
I don't think that was the most shows I've ever done. Normally, I try to shut it down at about 3.
Okay.
But I think Atlanta. So St. Louis, I placed 7th, and I was like, I want to do better. Then I went to Shreveport, made really good progress, and I still didn't make first call outs. And I was just like, I want first call outs. So then when we did Atlanta and I got 2nd place, I had already agreed to do Chicago. So I was just like, well, let's go to Chicago. I think Chicago got 6th place. And then I was like, I got another week or 2 in me. Let's do Tampa. And we figured out Tampa, and I got 5th place. So I was just trying to keep the trajectory up. I don't necessarily know. I knew I didn't want to do that this year. I'm going to
Yeah.
be honest. I knew I didn't want to do it this year, and I don't want to do it next year. I would love to go ahead and qualify early. That way I can have months to let my body recuperate, be a human being, be
Sure.
mom, you know, be involved in other things other than like aggressively getting ready for a show.
Yeah.
Um, but I also want to take the time to kind of focus on growth in my legs a little bit more to match my upper body so that I
Okay.
can, really have the shape that I want to have for women's physique for
Now,
next Olympics.
Marika, going back to 2023 and mental health being at the all-time high right now, how are you keeping yourself kind of sane doing that many shows? I mean, do you have any practice, or you just I'm doing it no matter what?
When I set my mind to something, I just do it.
Okay.
Honestly, it sounds cliche, but the gym gives me a little bit of mental clarity. Like I don't have a high stressful job, but it is stressful. I work from home. I have a team of about 14 people, so you're managing 14 different
Oh wow.
behaviors and issues and strategies, and I'm on a lot of projects. So the I compartmentalize it everything, and I've been an athlete my whole life.
Okay.
So high performance athlete has never deterred me. Now I'm almost 40, so it feels a little different than it did in college. But once I set a goal and I know what I want to do, then I'm like tunnel vision into that goal. Whether that's
Okay.
work, whether that's mom life, whether that is bodybuilding, it's the same type of focus for each one.
Let's go back to athlete. What sports did you play?
So I grew up dancing. Actually, I was
Okay.
a part of a traveling performing children's company. So I spent a lot of
Oh,
time traveling around. Here in St. Louis, we have the Muni. It's like an opera. It's like our Broadway. I've done a
okay.
few of those things, but I ran track, and then I got into cheerleading. I wanted to do gymnastics, but by the time we could afford to pay for gymnastics, I was too tall, and I had taught myself. Like I taught myself how to tumble, like off of bicycle racks. I would go flip out in the back with the boys on the grass, and I taught myself how to tumble. And then I got into gymnastics, and then I
Okay.
got into competitive cheerleading. So I got my scholarship in college at Morehead State, which is one of the top collegiate cheerleading
Sure.
teams in the world. And I did that for about 5 years. Like, yeah, for 5 years. Because I started my master's program my last year of competing.
Okay. So now all really muscular type events, what brought you into the weight side of things?
Well, I got my back and my traps from cheerleading. So
Okay.
I wasn't, so we had two different teams and there are more teams now. So you got to think you're tumbling and you're pretty much squat pressing a girl over your head all day,
True.
3 times a day. So I was a base. And so a lot of times
Oh,
my motion was down, twisting up, here, here, here all the time.
okay.
So my back and my traps and stuff has always been big, specifically from cheerleading
So
and
then so
gymnastics.
so then what made you actually decide to start going more into the bodybuilding side?
So in high school, I was a part of the power club. So I've always been very strong and into like, I would do push ups when I was a kid because in dancing, you would have to hold your arms up all the time.
Sure.
And I was taught that you had to have muscles to hold up. So I would do push ups and different things like that. But a lot of actual cheerleaders get into the fitness and bodybuilding community because it's like you see fitness, and that's all I knew about bodybuilding growing up, and I was like, I can tumble, I can flip and twist, I should be able to do this. And then I had a sorority sister, honestly, in college who was an IFBB pro. She's an IFB fitness pro. And
Okay.
I would see her and I'm like, oh, I want to do this. And it was always a forethought in my mind, and I wanted to do it. Um, before leaving, I got pregnant with my daughter. Before leaving college, I got pregnant with my daughter. So I finished my master's program. And you're young, and I was straight and narrow in college, didn't party, didn't do anything because I had school, sorority, cheerleading, like it was super important to me. So after a while of like going clubbing and all of that, I was one of those new year, new me people. And I was like, I gotta lose weight. I wanna get back into it, and I wanna stick with it.
Okay.
And so that's when I started looking for a coach and figuring out kind of if bodybuilding is what I want to do. And I was instantly hooked because it just gives you that level of competitive spirit that you would get if you were in cheerleading or doing another competitive sport. But it's just all about you and your mental focus.
So from the time you hired a coach and started bettering your body, when did you or your coach decide, hey, let's put you in a show here?
So the whole plan was I started in January. I met a coach, and I'm not dogging him. I just didn't feel like he was super knowledgeable the way I would want him to be. And so I found another prep team, and I think I did a workout with them in April, and there was
Okay.
a show in June, and so that's what we aimed for. And I will say this, I completely messed that whole prep up because I didn't understand the science behind it. So in my mind, I was losing weight, I was seeing abs again, and I was like, "Ooh, this gelato looks good. Let me eat this gelato."
Oh
Or
boy.
I want candy. I didn't understand it. So obviously I didn't do very good at my first show, and then that kind of made me tunnel vision into, okay, my next show I want to do good at. And so that's kind of when I started understanding the science and getting really hooked to it.
Were you eating well, or did you have to kind of eat more? I mean, because most people I know that they undereat, and then when your coach starts saying male or female, okay, look, now we're gonna eat more six times a day. Were you able to adopt that, or were you already eating pretty full?
Well, I was eating 6 times a day. So right
Okay.
when I started, actually have a friend who had turned pro. So he had started helping me with a diet, and if you don't really know, like we had started and I was already starting to see a difference in losing weight. So my mind had already shifted to eating 6 meals a day, to
Okay.
doing cardio, to doing these different types of things. I wanted the team atmosphere. So to go and have contest prep with a whole team and work out together and see other people working for that same show and the same goal really helped me initially.
Gotcha. So you do your first show, and then when do you decide to do your second show? Obviously, you've got bitten by the bug at this point.
So I did my first show in 2015 in June, and then I took a job that moved me to Kansas City, Missouri. So 2015, I was like, okay, well, let me get situated into this home, get my daughter situated in school. It's something new for us. And then because it was like mandatory relocation with the job that I took,
Hmm.
and I started trying to go for 2016, that same show that I did. So I became an IPE pro
Okay.
in, I want to say in June of 2016, did my first pro show as an IPE competitor that on my birthday. So in September 17th of 2016. And then later on that year, I did my first NPC show because I didn't know the difference between the different federations. I had no
Sure.
clue, you know. And so once I did NPC, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to go to the Olympia. I knew what the Olympia was, but I didn't understand that there are different federations to it.
Okay.
So I did women's physique, and I think I got third place in the open back when top three would get qualified, but I still didn't know I was. I thought you had to win
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
qualify. So I still didn't know anything. And I think that following year is when I really submerged myself into NPC. I did
Okay.
uh, figure and physique at a Kansas City show, I think Muscle Mayhem in
Okay.
2017. And I won figure and physique in that. I didn't win any overalls. Funny story, Julia, who is in women's bodybuilding, we were
Okay.
up against each other for the overall in women's physique
Oh
back in the
wow.
day. She won. She won. But it's just a funny story about like how you come across people in the different paths. And then I did my first national show in Miami. Didn't do very well, and so it was just all about continuous progress for me.
So if I do math, and correct if I'm wrong, you do 4 or 5 shows, give or take, between the one federation and the NPC. And at that point, you're saying, I want to go pro. I want to step on the Olympia stage.
Yeah, 100%. I had like a 5-year goal. I think 5 or 6 year goal from when I started competing in NPC to get to the Olympia.
Okay.
I think it took me a little bit longer just because I had so much work to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a back, but we had to bring my legs, my glutes, posing, just everything that you needed to learn. So
Yep.
it took a little bit longer. It took me less time than I thought it would after turning pro. So that was the tricky thing with my mind, but getting to a pro level was the hard part for me.
Okay. And now you're there. Is it any easier?
Um, it's a little bit easier with understanding my power and knowing who I am as a competitor at this point, not
Okay.
knowing who you are as a competitor as you're getting like what category you want to do, how you want to move, having a good coaching system, which now I that makes a difference 100% is a coach knowing what to tell you, how to tell you what to do. You're partnering with your coach and it not being like a I told you to do this, so you have to follow me
Yep.
to this extent. Me and my coach are truly partners. We talk about how something's affecting my body, how this food is affecting my body, what's happening. So now that I'm a pro and I have a coach that listens, and we're just still trying to figure out, we still haven't figured out the 100% what we want to figure out as far as how to get me a little bit drier, but we're figuring it out now. And once we figure it out, it's go. It's done.
Marika, that's one of the big questions that people have is maybe what was your criteria for finding the right coach?
Ooh, I'm gonna say this, and it's probably going to make a few people mad. But I am one person that will always be open and transparent and truthful. I had a really horrible coach,
Okay.
and once you have a bad coach, you understand what you need. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and the red flags was flagging, but I was trying to give that person the benefit of the doubt, and it just it wasn't translating the way I needed to translate. And I ruptured my Achilles in 2020,
Oh wow. Okay.
gained a lot of weight, and it was like trying to come back. And I think I did a show, and I just realized I was like, no, this person isn't for me. And so
Yep.
that's when I met my coach in 2017. We were both doing Masters Miami, we not Masters, Miami Nationals that year. And my sorority sister, who is in Kentucky, because my coach is based out of Kentucky,
Okay.
tagged us in the post. And that's how we started following each other. So over the years, he's been like a support system, like in the background, just on Instagram. And so one
Sure.
day I was like, yo, how much to take me on? And we devised a plan, and he took me on, and things progressed. I think that 2021 was my big comeback from rupturing my Achilles. I did Puerto Rico Pro, which was in the Bahamas that year. I was not anywhere where I needed to be, but it was just about the mentality of getting back on the stage
Sure.
after being over 200 pounds. And then going to, I think we did North Americans was my first show with my new coach, who is my current coach now,
Okay.
Kevin Johnson. And then we were like, we can keep going. Let's go to nationals, in which I did women's bodybuilding. I got second to Chelsea. Chelsea ended up turning pro, and I think I got third in women's physique.
Yep.
And so we just kept devising a plan. And the more we worked together, the more we understood our partnership, and it just turned into something beautiful.
And it's tough because everybody's a coach nowadays, and there's a lot that has that one size fits all mentality, regardless if you're male, female, if you're just a mom looking to lose weight, you want to compete. And then there's the good coaches that, like you said, they're not dictators. They have a good give and take, I guess. Maybe it's the best way to say it.
Right. I mean, so I look at coaching kind of like I look how I am as a manager, right? So I lead 14 different people. That's 14 different personalities. That's 14 different needs that I
Yep.
have to figure out, and 14 different ways that I possibly have to talk to them. The way I talk to one person, I'm not going to talk to the other person the same type of way. It has to be
Exactly.
that same way with a coach. And the one thing I really love about my coach competes. We did shows in 2023 together, and he did two different categories and got top five.
Oh,
So he
wow.
knows his stuff, right? So he did 212 and classic. And for me personally, in order to teach me, you got to show me you can do it. And I automatically knew he knew what he was doing, and that was important to me.
Yep.
But A coach that's just trying to have numbers versus having quality is a red flag to me. My
Yes.
coach has his lifestyle people and he has his contest people, but he's not trying to overload himself with contest prep folk where he can't focus in the way he needs to focus in. And I
Hmm.
admire him. Yeah, we need to make money, we need to do different things, but ultimately you're dealing with someone's body.
Yes.
It's important.
And does he do male and female?
Yes, he does male and female.
Gotcha. So how long are your average preps now?
Woo. Um, I do generally a longer prep because I have so much dense muscle. I don't want to kill myself right out of the gate trying to do an 8 week prep. So we pretty much do like 20 week preps, and
Okay.
that works for me. Um, I don't mind suffering a little bit longer. It's the name of the game. Like I'll listen. My coach could be like 2 hours of cardio, and I would do it. And 95% of the time, I probably do more cardio than he tells me to do, just because like one for me, um, there are a lot of things that I won't, a lot of avenues I won't take in this sport. So I don't mind putting in the extra work, and I'm not dogging anybody who does anything, whichever way works for them. That is great. It's just
Sure.
my mentality and what I'm willing to do. Um, and heart health, like it's important to do cardio. It's important
Yes.
to keep your heart healthy and to maintain a level of conditioning in that way. So
So I heard in an interview after you won the St. Louis that you have, and if I remember correctly, you have a Peloton, a treadmill, and a bike somewhere in your room or somewhere in the house.
So I have a stair stepper that is here in my living room.
Okay.
I have a Peloton and a treadmill downstairs, and I have a sauna. So during COVID, a box wooden sauna went on sale, and I purchased it. So I have like
Awesome.
an infrared box wooden sauna in my basement too, which helps.
So now, how do you decide which piece of cardio you're going to do for the day, or is it just how you're feeling?
For the most part, I do what works for my body, right?
Okay.
So I will do an hour on the treadmill running, and it
Straight,
doesn't.
like one
Yeah,
continuous hour.
yeah.
Okay.
I might stop to breathe for like 30 seconds to get back on, but like I'll run for an hour, do 8 miles or something like that.
Okay.
And if my cardio is 2 hours. So I'll probably do an hour of cardio in the morning and an hour of cardio, or I'll try to break it up. So I might do 30 minutes post workout on the
Okay.
stairs. And then evening cardio will be 30 minutes on the stairs. So I try to give it equal amount of time on the stairs because that's good for your glutes and legs and
Sure.
hamstrings. And then the running helps with burning fat for me because I'm running so fast that
Okay.
it works for me. And every now and again, if I don't feel like running, I'm like, let me get on this Peloton and just Peloton, do a class. Or now you can watch Netflix on Peloton. So I'll just throw on a movie and pedal and try to keep my heart rate up at a certain point to make sure I'm burning the fat.
When you're on the other two pieces of equipment, do you have the TV on, watching TV or music, or what do you keep?
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
I have my TV on. So when I'm in the living room, the TV is on a movie and I just watch the movie. If I'm downstairs, I have a TV downstairs. So I'll turn it on something and watch something. Yep. I have
Okay.
to be generally baking shows. I'm obsessed with like spring baking championship and all of like the baking competitions. Don't ask me why. It's kind of like self torture. I know it is.
I was gonna say, is that smart doing prep though?
You know what? It's oddly comforting, to be honest with you. I don't know why, but
Okay.
I really believe that when I'm finally out of prep, I'm gonna learn how to bake a bunch of stuff. I got my little baking kit. I finally broke down. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to bake cakes and all the stuff that I want that I can't eat, but I'm gonna learn how to do it because I'm just infatuated with it.
I love it. I'm kind of similar, but I'm more in the food side. Like I watch the Chops and the Master Chefs. So not so much the baking, but I get more into the food side of things, the actual like meal side of things.
I'll do Top Chef too. I low key want to go to culinary school, but like I wouldn't do anything. I don't want to open a restaurant. I just want to know how to do it if I want to cook it. That's the only reason why I want to go. I just want to be like, oh, I could bake a cake for my daughter's birthday, make it look professional if I wanted to, but I just want to know how to do it so I can do it. But that's also like I think that's a trauma response. Anything that I feel like I could be good at, I want to try it and perfect it.
Yep.
So,
Rika, let's talk about that for a minute. You brought up a daughter. Okay.
mhm.
Is it hard? I'm assuming when you're making your meal, having to make two meals, or is your daughter eating what you're eating?
Oh no, she doesn't eat what I eat, but she's 16, so
Oh,
now
okay.
she kind of cook her own meals. But previously, no, it wasn't hard because, and I don't make her eat how I eat, but we are conscious, like, all right, we're not gonna eat too much greasy stuff, but
Yep.
she will French fry you to death, so she will eat, and she's picky. She went through a stage where at school they showed them that meat video. She refused to eat meat, so trying to get her enough protein, that was a struggle, because she did not want to eat meat at all. So trying to get her something that she could eat was hard. Now she eats meat. It's
How
still She's still finicky about it, but she eats meat now.
so wait, is it the butchering of the cow, or is it how it's
It was
processed, or what is it?
Yeah, it was like some video they showed them about how cows and chickens and how they're butchered,
Oh,
and she
jeez.
was done. She was like, "Nope, I don't want to eat it." Like she still
Oh,
won't touch
no.
it, but she will. She'll cook her own meals now, so she can cook eggs, and she's really picky. She doesn't like breakfast food, so if she
Okay.
finds something she likes, she'll like it for a solid maybe like 3 weeks, and then she'll be done with it, and we have to figure something else out. Like she's super picky.
Yeah, I have an 18-year-old, so generally my wife and I I live the lifestyle of a bodybuilder. I haven't competed in many years, but I still make 4 pounds of chicken and a big bowl of rice and everything else. And every night my son, I gotta make him that separate meal. And if I don't, he's not gonna eat. And he's like, "Oh, chicken again, Dad? No, we're having steak tonight. Oh, it still tastes like chicken. Okay, well, what would you like? It's. But anyway, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Talk about your meals though. I mean, how many meals and like what is basically your staples for proteins and carbs and things like that?
Um, so I eat 6 meals, but my main staples for proteins are chicken and fish. When I
Okay.
get closer to the show, I just go straight fish. One is easy. I mean, chicken is easy because I just throw it in the air fryer, but um, mainly chicken and fish. I do protein and veggie days, and what works for me is high fats.
Okay.
So carbs don't necessarily work for me as great until we get like closer to the show, like carbing up. But doing prep, we found that high fat days work better than carb days for me and my body.
So when you say high fats, oils or more like avocado and peanuts and that kind of stuff?
Avocado, nuts, unroasted nuts,
Okay.
and um, salmon, those different types of things, like a fatty fish or even bison.
Okay.
So
And
we'll do that. Or I can do steak, but it has to be like it can't be, what am I trying to say? It
can't
has
be
to be
lean.
natural. No,
Okay.
right. It has, GMO and all those different types of things. So
And how many calories do you intake a day generally during prep? Do you have an idea?
no clue.
Okay, that's okay.
He gives me my meals and I just follow it. So
Love it. What is training like? Talk to us about maybe a typical week or a couple of days of training.
so generally training. So I start with fasted cardio. It's either I'm going to hop on the stairs or get on a bike or
Okay.
my treadmill downstairs. And then I generally have my splits. So my splits are Mondays, legs, Tuesday, it's chest, back, and triceps. Wednesday, we're back biceps and glutes. Thursday is shoulders again, but I generally do hit because you can
Okay.
only do so much shoulders. My traps are going to fall off. But and then Friday we're back at legs. Saturday is push and pull. Sunday is full just cardio. It's my rest day.
Gotcha. Gotcha. With fasted cardio, black cup of coffee, any supplements, or you just jump right on?
I have my so I'll have like BCAAs or something I sip on, but no cup of
Okay.
coffee, nothing. It's completely fasted.
Gotcha. So go back to the Olympia now. After winning the Olympia, has your life? I mean, you've been a pro now for a little while. Has your life changed any more since now you're a true Olympian? You can add that to your title.
Not no, not necessarily. Like I'm still fairly new, so nobody really knows who I am, and that's fine. For me, there's a quiet confidence in not being in the spotlight. Like I like flying under the radar, and nobody's
Okay.
really expecting anything out of me, and then boom, I pop up. Um, but nothing has necessarily changed. Like I'm with Rule One now; they are have been amazing.
Awesome.
from like an athlete perspective and making sure that I have what I need. Obviously, my suit person Emma from Sparkle Bitch sponsored me and for this year, which was amazing. I've been a client of hers. Like I fully believe in patronizing businesses. I'm not going to go to a business and be like, "Here, sponsor me, do
Sure.
this." Like there has just been a good partnership with Emma, and then Octane has been there for me. Energy. I met at Olympia of 2022. It was my very first Olympia. Stopped by, bought me one, incorporated that with my little vodka because I wasn't competing, and it's just been a lovely and great partnership with them since I've been a brand ambassador for them. So as of now, again, nobody really knows me. I mean, I guess I have to get in and win a few more shows and get top three at the Olympia like I plan on doing next year and see
Y-
what happens.
Yeah, but seventh in your first try here is nothing to sneeze at. I don't know why you kind of diminishing it. I think you are on people's radar.
No, I mean, I in my mind, seventh in the world, like I'll take it. Like I was really
Yeah.
happy with that, you know what I mean? But again, I don't have like I'm not super flashy. I'm not very great with content because I have a regular full time job.
Yep.
Um, and trying to pay for a team to follow me around, I'm not going to do that. I know I have to get better with content. So it's not like I have millions of followers. I'm walking around with a tripod. If people do that, that's great. I have nothing against them.
Sure.
I just like to get in, get my workout done, and go. Like I just think it takes so much away from me having to set up a tripod to film something. If I have the additional energy, I will. Or if my daughter's with me, I'll be like, "Here, film this set." Then it's something totally different. But I think that that's why I'm not on any radar because I'm not super big with content right now for
Mm-hmm.
people to follow along. And I mean, people are following. I'm getting my followers up, but I just think that's why it is. Nobody really, the bodybuilder world might know who I am, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yep. What goes into the thought process of picking out your suit, your colors, the amount of rhinestones, all that good stuff?
So for me, it's the whole stage presence. It's
Okay.
I when I'm thinking about suits, I'm thinking about what my tan is going to look like under the lights. I don't know what the backdrops are going to look like, but all I can do is control what it looks like on my skin and how I
Mm-hmm.
think the lights will hit it. My makeup, my hair matters, like what color my hair is in conjunction to my suit, how my makeup is done, how my nails look, like everything
Yep.
has to match for me. But what me and Emma have come up with is bright colors really work well on me, and I know what colors work well on my skin. Now, this suit, so my pink suit that I had for New York Pro and the St. Louis Pro, it was a surprise. I said, "Hey,
Okay.
you know what I like? Surprise me." So I didn't know what it looked like. Even Body Bling does my all of my jewelry and everything.
Okay.
She sent the mock up to her and she just sent me the jewelry. So I
Oh
never
wow.
opened it until I actually saw what the suit looked like. So that was amazing. So that's when I knew I was like, yeah, Emmy, you're stuck with me. Like you know exactly what works with my skin tones. And the Olympia suit we did collab on, I was like, I was going back and forth with colors, and I was like, I think we need to just do a bright purple, and I want to do mixed jewels. So I don't want all the jewels the same. Like I want different sizes of jewels, and it worked. It was beautiful. It was like sparkled. It went with my skin color. It went with my hair. Like my suit came through exactly the way I wanted it to in my vision in my head and how it was going to look on stage. The
Yep.
backdrop was dark, so it really popped with the red with the bright purple. So I was very happy with that. So that's what I think about when I'm doing a suit is all of those different things taken into consideration.
Now, do other competitors though have as elaborate nails? 'Cause I don't know if I've noticed that or not.
I don't know. Like, so my nails are always pretty elaborate. One of my very close friends, she's like a best friend, does my nails. She has a business here, and I just show her what my suit is, and I just let her. I was like, "This is." She'll say, "Do you have any ideas?" And I'm like, "Oh, kind of have an idea." She'll be like, "No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this." I was like, "Well, just do what you need to do." So, um, yeah, my nails are always pretty elaborate, even outside of it. Sometimes they're pretty plain because I'm like, oh, it's fall, we'll do fall. But for the show, I like for them to look pretty, but not take away. Like, I don't want the
Of
judges looking at my
course.
nails. I want them looking at my body, but I want it all to match in conjunction.
How are you able to train with them though? They look, I mean, obviously what I've seen on video, they look a little
Yeah,
large.
they're really long. And it's hard to make a fist, but I ironically, when my nails are short, I bang my fingers in the weights.
Oh, okay.
So when I don't have nails, I injure myself more than when I have nails, and maybe it's just a conscious thing of like the fact that I know that they're there, I grab a little
Mm,
bit differently,
yep.
or so very rarely do I'm gonna knock on wood, but very rarely do I break my nail while actually doing working out.
But now when you type though, are you able to type with your fingers or you actually do with your nails?
No, I type with my fingers, so like
Okay.
this. And when I don't have nails, I get used to typing with my fingers, and then I'm like, crap, now I have nails. I have to go back, figure out how to type again. So you just use it each way.
Now how long will those last you though before you have to get redone, filled, or whatnot?
I generally do about a month. I know. Mine go pretty long,
Okay.
which is hard. She hates it. My nail lady hates it. But I'm like, listen, I have a 16-year-old who has to get her nails done too. I'm over here fighting for my life because girls are expensive. So if it's between me getting my nails done or my daughter getting her nails done, I'll get my daughter's nails done before mine, just because she's out with kids and kids are
Yep.
scrutinize a little bit more. So I just leave it. I just do it that way.
Love it. Love it. Marika, 2025 is slowly coming up on us here. What are you looking at? What are you thinking for next year?
Next year, I don't know. I am going to do a show here in the next 3 weeks to try to qualify for 2025. If I hit my goal, then I'm chilling for at least 6 months, like to grow in the areas that I
Yep.
need to grow in. Um,
What's
I've
left? What show is that? What's left?
I think, what is it? The Atlantic Coast. So Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I think it's Tim Gardner.
Okay. Okay.
So I think it's the week of November 16th. So it's a Masters and Open show.
Okay. And I think you mentioned you want to start bringing up your lower half a little bit more. Is that what you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, my quads a little bit
Okay.
more. Now my my calves, my poor little calf, especially the one that I ruptured my Achilles on. I think that when they because my Achilles rupture happened at the start of the pandemic, but the first doctor told me it was partially torn. It was not.
Okay.
And it
Yeah.
snapped again. And so I didn't have surgery on it until August. And so that whole time my Achilles was like rolled up in my calf. And
Okay.
they with me having so much good muscle, it preserved it because they thought that they were gonna have to use a cadaver tendon.
Okay. Yep.
They just stretched it back down, but they took pieces of my calf with it.
Yep.
So it's still hard. I still can't walk on my toes fully 100%.
Okay.
Is what it is. I can jump though. That's all that matters.
Rika, I don't want to insult you. I want to be respectful. We have the Masters Olympia coming back next year. Do you have any
Mhm.
thoughts of maybe trying to do both? Because I think it's over
I
40 at the
can
Masters.
Right, I can't. I won't be 40 until September.
Okay. Okay.
I'll miss the cutout. I would have tried to do both. Like, I definitely would love to go to Japan. It's one of those places. Isn't it in Japan, right?
It is Tokyo, correct? Tokyo, Japan.
Um, I always wanted to go to Tokyo, but I won't be 40 yet. So I'll miss the cutoff. Like, I'll be 40 that September, and
Okay.
Masters is in August, so I don't qualify for it just yet.
All right. Well, maybe the year after. But then again, we got to kill the Olympia stage first before we go to that
Right,
level.
right. Yeah, I mean, my goal is definitely first call outs top three next year. And I have to give myself like a stretch goal for sure.
Yep.
Like just to have like my mental mind. So it's not from coming from a cocky place at all. It's coming from my stretch goal. This is what I envision. And as long as you aim for a target, you're going to hit close in that vicinity, no matter what the case may be.
Is there anybody whose physique you think you're close to or admire?
No, I
Okay.
don't because I don't compare my physique. My physique looks completely different
I love
than
that mentality.
than everybody else is. Like, so I don't think comparison is what you should do here, because everybody has their strengths and everyone has their weaknesses. It's just
Okay.
about making it work for you and bringing the best package you can bring. So no, I look at my physique and that's the only physique I focus on.
I love it. I love it. Marika, what advice do you have for people that maybe want to get into the female competitive side of things, regardless of the division?
My advice is a few different things here. If you already struggle with food and how you manage your food, your eating, do not do bodybuilding. This isn't for you. You have
Okay.
some other things that you need to work out, right? Um, Research. Do your research on the coaches. Don't go with a coach just because they're popular. I mean, and that's no offense to the popular coaches, because some of them are doing really great things, but really do your research on what these people know, because I've seen a lot of people who win a local show and now they're posing coaches. Now they are taking
I
clients.
know.
What is happening?
Or the people that
I
lost 50 pounds, the people that lost 50 pounds and they think they're a coach.
Right, and or people who went and got surgery and now they're bodybuilding enthusiasts that have all of these followings that they're teaching people what to do with their body. So really do your due diligence and research. And don't go with anybody just because your friend is going with them. Really go for what works for you, and to really be patient with yourself. Like, there's no easy fix in this. This takes time. And some people are just genetically gifted, and that's fine. I
Yep.
am genetically gifted. I know that I am, as far as how my muscle develops and what that is, but that doesn't mean that I still don't put the work in. Red flag. If a coach is trying to get you to send new check-ins, run as far as you can.
I didn't think
Like,
about that. Wow. Okay.
as far as you can. If a coach instantly starts you with drugs, run as far as you can.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, some people just need to get the mentality of working out every day. That does not necessarily mean that that's the first avenue you go to when you're taking on a new client.
Yep.
If you have a friend and y'all with the same coach and y'all have the exact same workout, meals, abort mission, because the way your friend's body is going to accept the food doesn't mean that your body is going to accept the food like that. So the cookie cutter stuff doesn't work at all.
Love it. What about the financial aspect of like,
Ooh.
I'm not from that, but let's talk about a rough number between you're doing a show, your hair, your
Oh,
nails, your bikini. Is it safe to say over 2 grand? Like how what
oh,
can
it's
people expect?
way over 2 grand for women. Oh, it's
Okay.
way over 2 grand. Let's just, if you're talking food, you're talking coach, you're talking supplements, you're talking massages, body work, chiropractor, suit, which is about $600 to $700 depending on who you
Mm-hmm.
go with them. If you're in figure or bikini or wellness, you have shoes, hair, nails, makeup, tan.
Yep.
It's so extreme for women. And I know, I'm not saying it's not extreme for men, but I know men who got $30 little
Of
trunks.
course.
I'm paying $800 for a suit that's gonna hit just right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very costly. It is, and I know a lot of people. So I've seen people shame people for doing Cash App or GoFundMe, and this is if you can't do it, this. I'm like, but you don't know whether bodybuilding is saving someone's life. So
Mm-hmm.
you have supporters, and your supporters are truly there to support you. Why is it a big deal that you're asking for help and that someone helps you achieve a goal, even if it is a hobby? You don't know if that hobby is saving someone's life. So
Yep.
who are you to speak on that?
Exactly. I love it. Marika, it's been a fantastic conversation. Is there anything maybe we have not addressed that your fans, the listeners, anything we haven't covered?
Um, I don't think that there has been anything that we haven't covered, to be honest with you. I don't know. I can't think of anything that would be. I mean, we talked about everything from how I got involved in it, my trajectory over time, what I plan on doing for next year, which I still don't know what that plan is. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks,
Yep.
and then I'll have a better plan. But um, Ironically, I'm going to try to do more content because I know that people are asking for that. I'm going to try. I can't promise you anything because when I
Yeah.
get tunnel vision, I'm just trying to get in and get out. Um, as well as I know that I have a few posing clients. I will be taking on more posing clients
Okay.
in 2025. I haven't advertised it because I think it's a little weird to be like, oh, yeah, I'm a top Olympia. Now, here I am posing, but I mean, I do believe that I can help a few people if they are looking for a posing coach. That's about it.
Love it. Love it. Please give a shout out. We talked about Octane, and again, Octane, Tony and I Supreme are very close friends of mine. So I was
Yeah.
very excited to see you as part of their team. But give a shout out plug to anybody else in your group.
Yeah, sure. So first and foremost, a shout out to my coach, my partner in crime in this. We've done some pretty extraordinary things. Got me a pro card, got me my pro win, did the Olympia in a few short time of us working together. Shout out to all of like the
What's your
fans.
coach's name? You didn't mention his name.
Johnson, sorry, Kevin Johnson. If
Okay.
you're on Instagram, it's at One Men's Talent. So we're team talent over here. We're small but mighty. Um,
Love it.
fantastic. And he gonna tell you like it is. So I love a coach that is not gonna sugarcoat anything from me. And also, if he knows that I'm not ready for a show, he doesn't just allow me to just do a show. He'll pull you back. That's important too. Those people don't have your coach just making you spend money to hop in shows, but also don't have your coach waiting a year to have you doing a show either. That is also a red flag. But shout out to Octane Energy for always supporting me and hyping me up and again, keeping me energized without being jittery. Love
Yes.
it. Rule one, amazing supplement company that I've been with for a short amount of time. It showed me so much love. Got to work their booth. So if you're looking for some protein or some amazing BCAAs, collagen, any of those types of things, use my code Marika. Also, I would like to shout out Sparkle Bitch, Emma. Hey, you got I have a code, guys. I don't know what it is. Emma, you got to get with me on this. But you're looking at somebody who's going to take the time and not duplicate someone else's work and make your suit your own. Definitely hit her up. She's very thorough and she does everything amazingly well. Body Bling, please hit up Body Bling. I am not a sponsored athlete of Body Bling. Body Bling did sponsor my Olympia jewelry, and she's amazing. She also helped me get my daughter her homecoming earrings and jewelry too.
Love it.
So she's amazing. I would definitely check her out. Trying to think if I'm missing anyone. I think that's it. But shout out to all the people who made my Olympia dreams come true. It was amazing.
And Marika, where can people follow you on Instagram?
You can follow me at Marika underscore IFBB Pro. Pretty simple. It's just that's just all it is. For the most part, I respond back if you're being respectful. So keep that in mind. If you're being respectful, I will generally answer you back. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Kill him with kindness. But Marika, again, it's truly been a pleasure. I'm sending all the positive, the love for this upcoming show. Would love to have you back, whether it's to talk about that win or what next year's looking like. But it's truly been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's been such a pleasure talking to you, and absolutely feel free to have me back on. Hopefully, we're celebrating a win and
Yes,
another back-to-back Olympia qualification. So hopefully, that's what we're on.
love it. And for everybody listening to this on Spotify, you can follow us at subtalk_radio. Have a great night.